love, you're listening to the Died on Ashanta podcast. I'm a resilience strategist and migrant integration specialist who has spent the last 20 years traveling, working, and studying throughout the Caribbean, North America, Europe, Africa, and Asia. As a globetrotter, I quickly learned how to bounce back from crisis and how to thrive in new and strange places. I've used my training and experience to develop a resilience-based framework, and now I help others to get over the hurdles that come with living in a foreign country. Now on this podcast, I invite you to join me on this journey of living with simplicity, joy, and resiliency. From green smoothies to goal setting, we'll cover it all. We'll talk about all the things that help us to thrive through the storm. Welcome to the Died on Ashanta podcast. This is episode 14, and we are talking about 200 days of writing. Now, I don't know if you've ever checked it, but between June 14th and December 31st, you have 200 days. So earlier this week, we started a journey into the last 200 days of the year. Now, while that may not be very significant to you, I decided leading up to June 14th to take on a challenge of a daily writing practice to improve my emotional well-being. And when you think of writing is a healing practice, and it's about mental release, emotional release, giving you a chance to process your thoughts, your feelings, and to increase your self-awareness. And cut it any way you like, for you to develop that inner strength that we refer to as resilience, you have to be mentally, emotionally well. And so when you think of writing, you're like, what kind of writing? Well, I'm thinking about emotional writing, expressive writing, reflective writing, which you may also know as journaling. Now, almost everyone has had to keep a journal at least once in your life. Whether you got a private little notebook that you jotted down all your secrets and narrated how your day went or how you feel about a certain thing and you tucked it away in a secret hiding place so no one else could read it, or you got an assignment in class that asked you to write about something. So whether it was a class journal or it was your little secret hiding place to put your thoughts, most of us have had a journal at least once in your life. But this emotional, expressive, reflective writing that I'm talking about is not like the typical logging of activities. Oh, today I went to the supermarket, or today I did 15 minutes of working out, or whatever. Not that kind of log. But I'm thinking about using prompts, a kind of guided writing where you either respond to a question or write under a certain theme, or you think of certain values that you hold and you write about it. Writing in a journal for the purpose of mental healing, emotional well-being is a practice that allows you self-expression, where you're able to express yourself creatively, whether you are using your imagination to think about how you would like your life to be different, or you are experiencing a process of understanding yourself or experiences you've been through, things that people have said to you. That's the kind of writing that leads to healing. And at the very core of it, it's about narrating your experiences, both the good and the bad. Now, the good narration would cover things like things that you're grateful for, things that are so memorable, and fulfilling, that you just want to sit and simmer in that moment and really capture the joy that you experience about that positive experience. But when you think about narrating your bad experiences, sometimes we have experiences that shake us to our very core, or even break off a piece of our hope or our innocence in the world. And sometimes those experiences are so traumatic that they form a part of what we call our unspeakable things, the things that we don't feel comfortable talking about. But when we are able to grab a piece of paper and to sit and to write about that experience, it allows us to put our thoughts into reality, to give words to our feelings, because sometimes we have emotions that are so intense that we can't put it into words. But we've all heard the expression that the pen is mightier than the sword. Sometimes it just takes a bit of ink and some paper for us to channel those strong emotions into words that make sense, that find meaning in the experiences that we have, and allow us to comprehend what we have been through, what lessons are to be gained from those negative experiences, and to imagine what life can be now that we have gone through those situations. And so, as I launch into this challenge that I've given myself, I'm committing to a daily practice, only about 15 minutes a day. Maybe it's something you want to try along with me. I know we are already a couple days into my challenge, but maybe you want to come along with me. I'd invite you. If you're going to join me on this 200 days of writing, please let me know. Let me know if you want to try it too. 200 days when you just take about 15 minutes, you lock away from everyone and everything, and you just write about whatever is on your mind, whether it is simply writing that you're confused about something, or you're worried, or you're disappointed, or you're writing about your excitement as you anticipate something good, or you're daydreaming about how things could be better, or you are plotting out your next project. Whatever it is, get it out on paper and keep up this habit and see where it goes. Maybe someone says something that triggers a shift in your thinking, and you want to document it. And as you document maybe that one line or quote that someone has shared with you, then you start to build on your own thoughts and what it means for you and how you can apply it to your life, and different examples you've seen of that thing being lived out, and different ways you could express it. Just allowing yourself to go through that thought process and writing it down allows you to build your self-awareness, to make sense of your lived experiences, and to find meaning and purpose in your everyday life. Now, when we think about the things that we can probably put in writing, but we don't feel like we can say to another person, can discuss with someone else, you think about these truths that can't be spoken. And within that mind frame, I want to share with you a proverb, an African proverb that says, all truth is good to know, but not all truth is good to say. And sometimes that's the position that you're in, where there are some truths that you know, but it probably isn't the best thing to say to just about anyone. Or maybe you haven't found that person that you can be vulnerable with. But maybe, just maybe, with a bit of ink and paper, you can put your truth out into the world. Maybe one day after you're long gone, someone will find it and read it and learn from your experience and see the strength and the resilience that you have cultivated in your time. Or maybe it is simply something for you to write out, get it out of your system, and burn it up. Some people, that's what they do. You just get it all out on paper, all the things you want to say to someone, but you couldn't get it out. You put it on paper and you burn it up. If you're wondering about, suppose someone finds my journal, I'm going to be embarrassed or whatever, then maybe you want to try a digital journal. There are some online diaries that you could try if you're too nervous about journaling on a bit of paper for someone to find it. Maybe try an online journal where you can put your little password and lock it away and feel that sense of security and confidence that you can document it. But the best way, I think, is when you have that mental physical connection that comes through handwriting your thoughts and your emotions. So I'm putting that challenge out to you, and if you're looking for some prompts, you could find prompts online, prompts for emotional healing, prompts, journaling prompts for mental health, journaling prompts for self-development, so many different options for journaling prompts. But there's also a book I will recommend that is part guidance and inspiration and part journal, and it's called Unlocking the Queen Code: Divine Keys to Reclaiming Your Throne, and it's by Melissa Crawford. So if you want to check that book out, then maybe that can be your first tool for starting on this journey of reflective, emotional, and expressive writing. Maybe that will be your tool to wrap up this year in a mentally strong, a mentally resilient, and a mentally free way. That's all for today. I hope to hear from you. Let me know. Do you have a writing practice? Are you thinking of joining me on this journey of writing throughout the rest of 2022? I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for listening. Thanks so much for listening, love. If you enjoyed this episode, head over to didanashanta.com. I'd love to hear your thoughts on today's message. Be sure to drop your email address so I can send you some helpful resources, updates, and the occasional music video that I may have on repeat. Make sure you subscribe and spread the love with someone you care about.